Welcome to our tax and accounting channel. Today we are going to talk about the basics of payroll taxes. Anyone with a business who has employees will find this topic to be both useful as well as important. Payroll taxes are one of the most common tax reasons that businesses get in trouble. Why is that? Businesses typically get in trouble because of cash flow problems. And the business owner with a cash flow problem is going to be looking for cash wherever he could find it to pay expenses. Owners see payroll taxes as an easy loan. It's an easy loan, but it's very hard to pay back. So why is it an easy loan? Well, they can just take the money. There are no documents to fill out, no permission to ask. Just keep the money and spend it as needed. However, the payroll taxes are a loan that are very hard to pay back because of huge amounts of interest and penalties that will be imposed on the business and the business owner when payroll taxes are at issue. Before you know it, the business finds itself in a hole with little hope of getting out. And that is the problem that we see dealing with payroll tax issues for our clients. And the worst part about payroll taxes is the personal liability on behalf of the owner and certain key employees. This issue can not only destroy the business, but it can destroy the owner's personal finances. This is the first in a series of videos on the subject of payroll taxes, and I hope you will find this to be both useful as well as interesting. I'm Gary Massey, a CPA and the owner of a tax and accounting firm focused on the needs of small businesses and small business owners. I help taxpayers to save taxes and to stay out of IRS trouble. Payroll taxes are a huge issue. In 2018, approximately $2.5 trillion in payroll taxes were paid by employers to the IRS. That is over 70% of all taxes collected by the IRS. So you can see that the payroll tax issue is even a more significant issue to the IRS than the income tax issue. How do payroll taxes work? Well, income tax and Social Security tax, known as FICA, are withheld from each employee's paycheck by the employer and paid over to the government. They're paid over either weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually, depending on the size of the payroll. It is submitted to the government with a number of forms, and there's also information reporting. Most famously, these forms are the 940 and the 941, but there are some other forms as well. There are also state forms in addition. I'm just mentioning the IRS forms right now. FICA, or Social Security, is 6.2% up to a wage cap. In 2020, the wage cap is $137,700. So that piece is called FICA. In addition to FICA, there's a Medicare tax, which is 1.45% with no wage cap. If you add those two together, it equals 7.65% in total. That is the Social Security tax that the employee is going to pay for the government, and it is withheld by the employer. The employer then matches that amount, and that is the employer's portion of Social Security. If you add that together, that is 15.3% of taxes in total that the employer is holding on behalf of the employee and that has to be given over to the government. On top of this, employers are also holding income taxes that are withheld from every paycheck, every employee's paycheck. These funds are known as withholding taxes. So the Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, and the employee withholding taxes are all added together, and they are held in trust by the employer until such time as they are given over to the government. These taxes collectively are known as trust funds. Congress has authorized the IRS to assess penalties against individuals and businesses that fail to submit trust fund taxes to the government. The penalty is equal to 100% of the trust fund tax. It's a 100% penalty, and actually that penalty is in lieu of the tax itself, so it's not a 200% tax, but it is 100% in lieu of the tax, either that the employer or those who are responsible at the company, the owners or certain key employees, will have to pay. It's 100% tax. Recently, we have seen that the IRS and the Department of Justice has been increasingly aggressive in the enforcement of payroll taxes, both civilly as well as criminally. And in some cases, we see them to be more aggressive than with income taxes. Employers are required to pay employment taxes to the government using a system called EFTPS. It's an electronic online system. Where the employer does not submit it electronically to the government, there are additional penalties that are imposed on the employer. In addition to the penalties that we've discussed so far, there are few other penalties that you have to know about. There is, number one, a failure to file Form 941 or 940 penalty equal to 5% per month up to 25%. Secondly, there is a failure to file payroll taxes in the amount of 0.5% per month up to 25%. And then thirdly, there is a failure to deposit payroll taxes up to 15% depending on the number of days late. All of this adds up to a huge amount of penalties, and then you can just add interest on top of all of that. Payroll taxes are very hard to overcome. Not only do the taxes themselves add up, but the interest and the penalties add up on top of that, and the amount eventually becomes very, very steep, and it creates a hole that is very hard to extricate yourself from. It is extremely difficult to make up for it, even if the owner's intentions were to pay it back as soon as possible. Business owners often come into our firm when there's almost no help of climbing out of this payroll tax hole. Fortunately, there are things that can be done, and there are things that can be done particularly with respect to who is personally liable for those taxes. And that is what we will be discussing in the series on payroll taxes, and I hope you will join us for the remaining videos in the series. I hope you have found this video to be useful. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That keeps the videos coming. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, you are welcome to send me an email or leave a message in the comment below. If you need more personalized attention, you are more than welcome to call my firm and ask to speak with me personally, and I will do my very best to help you in your situation. For now, I wish you all the best, and I look forward to speaking with you next time.